And now recognize Mr. Lobiondo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Secretary, thank you for being here today. I have the privilege of chairing the Aviation Subcommittee and the honor of representing the Federal Aviation Administration's flagship technical center, which I'm sure you know is responsible for all safety, security, research, and development, and the extraordinary work that's done by more than 3,500 people at that location for aviation in America. I know your opening statement was limited, and there's so many needs for infrastructure, but I didn't hear anything referred to about what we're doing with aviation, a major economic component and driver for our nation. Specifically, I'm hoping you can address three areas that I think are critical to the future of aviation, and the FAA Research, Engineering, and Development account, a proposed cut of more than $100 million. I mean, it basically freezes them and puts them dead in the water. UAS is a growing area in our nation which requires a lot of oversight and a lot of attention, and the UAS research account is cut to a fraction of what it's been in previous years when the problem hasn't been as big. And the last one is the FAA Technical Center Laboratory Facility, which is located completely at the Tech Center, that account is cut by a third. And if we're going to stay at the cutting edge of aviation for the United States of America, I don't know how we can withstand those kind of cuts, and I'm hopeful you might be able to give me some insight in how we're going to try to deal with this and restore that.
Thank you for those questions. I'm sorry that we didn't have a chance to visit the facility that was in
The invitation is wide open for you.
Thank you. And for some reason, we somehow could not. We had a date, but then it didn't happen.
Right.
Aviation, obviously, is very important. The chairman's proposal on air traffic control legislation was a seminal piece that could have improved air travel, which the administration supported, but unfortunately, it did not garner enough support within this chamber, and so that was abandoned. On the research, the FAA has the second largest budget in the Department of Transportation. The Department of Transportation has a budget of $77 billion. Highway is a major portion for the roads, for the interstate highway system, and the remainder is for the next biggest chunk is to aviation. And we actually have a research office within the Office of the Secretary. And so there needs to be some coordination and some better improvement in ensuring that the projects that are being done by the Research Office and the Office of the Secretary, which is the rest of the department, and the FAA are actually not redundant and that they're not duplicative either. On the issue of UAS, I'm very much a supporter of autonomous vehicles, unmanned aerial systems. We are actually focusing a great deal on it. But again, there's actually a great deal of research money, but the research money is not used very well. And so we are in the process of trying to figure out, where is all this money going? How is it achieving the stated purposes of the department's mission? And the third one I forgot. What did you mention?
Well, the third one is the
the grants and airport
the Technical Center Laboratory Facility.
Oh, right. I don't have an answer for that, and so I will look into that, but this is obviously a concern to you, and we can talk more
Well, if you
about
have
it.
the opportunity to visit the Technical Center, you will see the unique laboratories that exist nowhere else in the country, and the engineers that are doing the work there that in many cases cannot be duplicated anywhere else, and hopefully that'll help influence part of how you feel about this. But thank you very much. I yield back.
I thank the gentleman, and Mr. Larson's recognized.